level, I always wanted to learn Kung Fu and I always want to learn Tai Chi because of Jet Li, and
That's
because
right.
of Jackie Chan, and because of Bruce Lee. And I also, in Taekwondo and kickboxing and Muay Thai, you fight with the gloves. So
Right.
you always have the gloves on and you're always, throwing punches and stuff. But when I witnessed Kung Fu and when I was watching Kung Fu, what I was looking for, everything was open-handed. It was empty-handed. You know, the chi sao technique, the sticky hands, the push hands, the joint locks, the trapping hands, and all these fancy, cool techniques. So intriguing and yet so cool at the same
Yeah.
time. They're so artistic.
Well, it's like what we grew up watching. Because I remember, we would watch 36 Chamber of Shaolin, all the Bruce Lee movies, the Jackie Chan movies, and, not even to mention the video games too.
Right,
that
right.
there was a lot of influence of, we just want to learn it all.
Yeah. So we wanted to learn it all. I mean, if you're gonna teach, we can't cease to learn. And I am a firm believer. Is every style has something to offer. And people always ask me the same thing, Mr. Bastian, what is the best martial arts? And I said, dude, honestly, I think the best martial art is the one that gets you to come to class.
Right.
Because the hard work, the dedication, the perseverance, the day-to-day grinding is what really polishes a person to a high level of skill, regardless of what style, right?
Right.
And I know martial artists from different styles. I know Wing Chun guys that they are really, really good Wing Chun. Oh yeah, Jiu-Jitsu can beat him. Yeah, if you take him down, but try to take him down. That's a different thing. It's like trying to take down Master Angel.
Yeah.
It's like, if he doesn't knock you out before you take him down, and vice versa, once they take you down. But that's the beauty of continue, never-ending learning process. I think they give perspective.
Yeah, I'd agree with that because I myself train in those, as you know, in those different martial arts, and I think they give you perspective and they give you a good angle for what could really work and what could not work.
Exactly.
And then you can start to pick and choose, and you're able to create almost like a blend of your own style when you start mixing in Taekwondo and Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu. For you, it's Kung Fu.
Of course. Everybody has different body types and different, levels of aggression or things that they're working through.
Right.
But in Kung Fu, in my personal journey, I started learning Wing Chun. And was the year about 2008. In the year 2014, I got my black sash in Wing Chun Kung Fu. And it was great. I still practice to this day. And in the year 2013, I had a very powerful life event, which was when I went back to Chile for the first time,
Right.
in South America. And I was struggling with some personal things. And I went to see Dr. Chen, right? Dr. Chen, our doctor, man, our Chinese doctor friend who tells you how it is. Anyways, so he recommended me to go start practicing Tai Chi. Apparently I had a lot of energy and I needed to learn to focus it better and smoother things and slow down because I've been hyper all my life, you know that.
Yeah.
And so I started learning Tai Chi. And I was never intended to learn Tai Chi for combat. I think the Tai Chi is more of a internal development to stop any combat within, so to speak.
Oh.
Say
that again.
So
that one might take a second.
No, it's like Tai Chi is elegant, it's smooth, it requires focus, it requires breathing. Because you go over there and sometimes you got this busy head with work, with family and things. But Tai Chi, it really helps you ground, aligned with your breath, calm, and it was way more challenging than I thought it was,
It sounds challenging.
People think that doing Tai Chi is easy because you move slow. But if you have to hold deep stances and breathe and move, I like to challenge anybody to try to go do that for a while. It's not a 3-minute, 2-minute, 5-minute round. You're talking about a 45-minute consistent movement, right?
Right, 45 minutes of consistent focus and concentration.
And breathing.
And patience to not just, stop 2
Right.
minutes in and say, okay, I'm done with this. And
Tai Chi has this Qigong inside about energy work, breathing, stretching it through your body. It has this philosophy. And Tai Chi has families of Tai Chis for different age. At the beginning, you got the Chen, which is very aggressive. And you got the swords and the staffs and the spears and things like that. But then later, they become all about health and about well-being. and longevity.
Yeah.
So that's really why the excitement and the beauty of Tai Chi. Now, can that be used for combat? I believe so. Especially, I think for somebody like me, in a way that has learned Wing Chun, has learned this, has learned that, I think I learned very well to concentrate power.
Yeah,
You know?
because there's always like that. The big argument sometimes is Tai Chi and Kung Fu's are kind of in the combat sense they're useless.
Yeah.
There's that sentiment sometimes for people, and sometimes people who are not trained, they have that idea that those are not useful, and that the hard martial arts like Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu and Karate and Taekwondo, those are useful. But since you have done both worlds,
What would be my take?
what would be your take? Yeah.
Very simple. For combat training, if you're talking about fighting in a ring, fighting in a cage, or just simply fighting, in any kind of fighting, I think Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, Taekwondo, kickboxing, all those have an edge on that.
Right.
But they do lack the internal aspect. And I tell you why. It's because this is what I was taught also. So I would share with everybody, this is a podcast, so it's up for discussion, right? It's like in America, it's a Christian society, right? Martial arts, for the most part, come with Asia, come with Buddhism or Zen, as most people think, because, right? And so what happened is, in a way, they have taken a lot of that way of the warrior philosophy away and just put it with martial arts.
Fighting.
And fighting. Now, some people now has complemented that with Christianity, and that's great.
Yeah.
Because we don't want an angry, mean person knowing how to fight without guidance. We want to.
Right.
I was always taught that your martial arts skill grows with your spiritual skill, your heart skill.
Right.
Right. If you are angry, or mean, or sick inside, you're not gonna reach the highest level of skills. Now, Kung Fu and Tai Chi were developed before all that. All this MMA, all this stuff. And back in the day, if you look at Kung Fu, it was, the army would learn it to protect. And it was designed to kill and this like that. But that's one aspect of Kung Fu. There is also the artistic aspect, the self-expression aspect. Martial, combat, art. Where's the art part? Where's the artistic part on it? Well, it's self-expression, like Bruce Lee used to say. So in Kung Fu offer these things. You got these animal styles where you can, transfer how if I was a tiger, how would I fight? Right? That's fun, right?
Yeah.
It's entertaining, right? Some people might think it's a waste of time, but honestly, the people that said that has never done it. So it got no credibility.
Right.
No value. The opinion of a person who doesn't know anything about it is really worthless.
Yeah.
So they don't know anything.
Yeah.
And Tai Chi and all these things, they provide self-expression. They provide an opportunity to train without getting injured. They provide an opportunity to train internally. In martial arts, for example, in our school, what do we teach? We teach kata, right? We teach some kind of forms, regardless of the style. We teach sparring, kicks, punches. We teach self-defense, which eventually becomes jiu-jitsu. But we're heavy on character development. But that part of kata, that part of forms, that part, there's a lot of hate in the world on, katas don't work. Well, say that to Lyoto Machida. Say that to George St. Pierre. Say that to Anderson Silva. These are guys that practice these arts.
Yeah.
Right? But Kung Fu is something that in Tai Chi becomes personal. It really is. That's really what, and for me, it has been a backbone in my life. When I feel like I want to pull my hair out sometimes for whatever reason, I come in here and breathe and move, and next thing I know, that energy that was so tense inside has begin to dissipate or flow within me and channel it in a more positive way.
Yeah. Where does Samurai Inti come into this? What was the moment that you decided Samurai Inti needed to exist?